We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Rafino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight as National Signing Day, at least for LSU, rather, is officially over. It has been a very, very long day, LSU fans, as I'm sure you are well aware of, as LSU does land 5-star and top 5 in the nation linebacker Harold Perkins from Texas, from the Houston area, New Orleans native, makes his way back to the boot. He tells Jimbo Fisher, he says, B word, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boot. LSU also gets 3-star corner Jalen Davis Robinson, the very big speedster. Kid's got a lot of speed, about 6 foot 180, can really fly and can cover. So LSU goes 2 of 6 of the 6 guys that they were targeting today. And I think that they did well. I think that they're still okay, and they've done well, as LSU has now made it to the 6th overall recruiting class in the nation per 247 Sports. And guys, when Brian Kelly got here, they were in the low 40s. So a huge day, a huge deal for Brian Kelly and the staff, how they were able to go from the low 40s all the way up to 6 with the transfer composite rule and everything like that. So big day for LSU. And look, I put it in here just a second ago just for everybody that missed it. So I am pleased. Let me say this. I'm okay with how the day went. I mean, I wish LSU would have ended with Jacoby Matthews, but I will talk on that. I am going to harp on that a lot tonight, not specifically about Jacoby Matthews, but what do we need to trust? Not even necessarily who we need to trust, but what we need to trust. It will be in the Rafino's rants. So we'll do a Rafino's rants tonight as something that I've been preaching about for 3 straight weeks with Jacoby Matthews, and hopefully for once you will listen. Instead of hearing what I say on this show, you will listen to every word, and it will filter through. So we will talk about it. We will talk about Jimbo Fisher as well and NIL. Look, we have not talked a lot about name, image, and likeness on this show. I will tell you that the fear-mongering continues from those that cover LSU, and I will tell you why not only are they wrong, but they're Rudy Poos. So we will touch on NIL because, guys, you just landed a top 5 overall player in the nation, and you think NIL wasn't involved. Ding dong, wrongo. So, and then we'll go around the SEC, and then we'll do hashtag Ask Blake because it's a bigger day and a bigger show. We might not be able to go tomorrow just due to some new studio things. So, there's that. Chuck Wade says, went from number 19 to number 6 with a brand new coaching staff. Not too bad. Actually, they went from 40th. On early signing day, LSU was at 41. And when Brian Kelly just arrived, he was only here for a week and a half when that happened. They went from 40th to 19th. And with the transfer portal, LSU has made their way all the way to number 6. Absolutely massive. Pooh Bear on YouTube says, hashtag Ask Blake, considering this is a transition year, I'm happy with the effort. I look forward to the full recruiting cycle. I do too. And what this staff can put together. So, all right, let's get started. We'll get to a couple of these comments, and then we'll roll through, and then we got a lot to talk about. Joey Gotra on YouTube says, ask Blake, did Honey Badger tweet a hint about him coaching at LSU? He wants to. He wants to be a part of LSU. DeAndre on Facebook says, we in the building. That we are. We in the building. Let's go. Jeremy says, let's go too. Simper says 450K. You're a little off, but not too off. Little off, but not too far off. Chris English says, overall top 10 class with high school and transfer portal guys. You can't beat that. And they'll continue to get more freshmen in here when they get a whole recruiting cycle in here. So LSU will be fine. Big Pressure is in the building. What's up, Big Pressure? And Gage says on YouTube, Blake, when you going to stop being a meanie head, bro? Guys, what have I been mean about? I don't know what I mean about. Maybe I am. Some people do say I'm an asshole. I don't know. All right, let's get started. And Craig Schilling says, "Ah ha ha, we are live." That we are. Let's pay some bills around this thing. Got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about recruiting. We'll get to your comments. I'll tell you about what happened throughout the day, things that we heard. Everything's going to be now that it's all said, set, and delivered. We'll tell you everything and how it transpired with LSU today, especially. And I know what a lot of people want to know about is Jacoby Matthews. So we'll get there. Let's pay these bills, and then we'll get started. None better than our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons and BetOnline.ag. Guys, with 64 years of experience, nobody's better equipped to servicing your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or go see them over at 2500 Florida Boulevard in Denham Springs, Louisiana. You break down on the side of the road. They will come to get you in the greater Baton Rouge area. Tell them your good friend Blake Rafino sent you on by for that discount. And our good friends over at betonline.ag, guys, with the Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks, we got the parlays, we got everything basketball related, we got SEC basketball related. We have really done well on our picks. The place that I go and use that is betonline.ag. Use the 50% welcome bonus with the Believe 50 AYS podcast tab. That way that they know that your good friend Blake Rafino over at AYS sent you on by. That's betonline.ag. BetOnline.ag. All right, let's get this thing rolling. I forgot to say this. Everybody joining us, do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those Facebook groups. Everybody on Facebook, there's over 350 of you currently live with us on Facebook. Do us a favor. I don't ask for much. I just ask for you to hit the like button, hit the share. Please do that for us. Share to some Facebook groups. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor as we're growing exponentially on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed already, do us a favor by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell if you're listening to us on the audio podcast platform. Rate and subscribe there as well. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, I will get to some very quick comments, and then we'll get started about what happened today for LSU. Roderick Dugas says, I like us versus everyone, and I do agree with him. It's like the song goes from the Rise Prophet. Girl, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boot. Brett Ciancia of Pick Six Previews, a very, very close friend of mine, does a fantastic job. I really enjoy Brett. He's been on the show with us before. Something interesting that he put out today about recruiting. Guys, LSU had 14 top 200 recruits in the 2022 class. 14. Guys, California had 13 top 200 recruits in the nation this year. California is 10 times the population size, but Louisiana per capita in football is just insane for my good friend Brett Ciancia over at Pick Six Previews. Absolutely insane. Just ridiculous to think about that. All right. So I know that a lot of you are here probably wondering what happened with Jacoby Matthews and Danny Lewis. So let's talk on that. And then we'll get to the good news and the great news of how LSU was able to finish. So last night I talked about, and probably over the last week had talked about, Danny Lewis looked to be trending to Alabama. Now, from what I'm told from people on staff, and I think that the credibility of Are You Serious Sports Network with the news that we've been saying about Jacoby Matthews over the last 3 weeks, especially in recruiting, needs to go out the window. I will tell you this, on Danny Lewis, it was not a money thing. I think that Danny Lewis saw Alabama and Nick Saban for, quite honestly, guys, and being realistic, what they are. And when your worst seasons are playing in the national title and losing, for a guy like Danny Lewis, that's very appealing to him. Look, I don't think if LSU in a normal year, if they would have put the pressure on Caleb Douglas, a wide receiver out of Texas, or really if they had more time with Trevante Citizen, the running back out of Lake Charles, who picked Miami, which shocked a lot of people, which I'm okay with. If he went to Miami, he's not going to come in conference. He's not going to go to Florida. He's not going to go to Auburn. That's somewhat, if he's not going to stay here and be with you, he is going to be going elsewhere, which is somewhat good news, and you would want that. When LSU signed Noah Cain, I think it should have tipped the hand of what they thought about Trevante Citizen and what was going to happen. Now, you entertain the back, you entertain him, you want him to come, you want him to be a part of this program. At the end of the day, the signing of Noah Cain should have told you everything. See, life is interesting. When somebody tells you something, but the actions don't match what's actually going on in real life, you need to take the actions more than whatever the words will tell you. 10 times out of 10. So when Noah Cain went to the transfer portal and came to LSU, that should have been your writing on the wall that of what LSU felt about Trevante Citizen. And quite honestly, you have two outstanding backs in the class of 2023. Trey Holly being probably the most notable of those. So LSU can make up with the running backs in this next class. LSU produces wide receivers and running backs really just more than anybody in the country. And Brett Ciancia's tweet shows that of how big LSU is, and how Louisiana is in recruiting. So let me say this. This is a part of the Rafino's rant. And I want everybody to understand that. I want you to turn the volume up. I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to try to curse. I know we got kids around here. So I'm going to try to keep this as PG as possible. I might slip up. I'm going to try not to. Turn it up. Hit the share button. Over the last 3 weeks, I've talked about on this show that I did not feel confident, extremely confident about Jacoby Matthews and where LSU sat with him. Last night, I talked about if it's 50-50, I'll give LSU the lean just due to the sense of that LSU is the home state school. Last week, we talked about Jimbo Fisher coming into Hammond, Louisiana at the not international airport, but the airport in Hammond, Louisiana, which is very close to Ponchatoula, and making a very big push for Jacoby Matthews, because I always knew as soon as Harold Perkins decommitted that Jimbo Fisher was going to do everything he could to make a splash today. He wanted one of the two. Regardless of who it was, he wanted one of the two. I asked my buddy Mike Scarborough that Monday, how does Texas A&M play into this role with Harold Perkins or Jacoby Matthews? And I want to say this. When anybody, and especially now, tells you that any recruit outside of maybe a Walker Howard type of kid who quite honestly still flirted with other schools, if they ever tell you anybody is a lock, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. There are levels to this game. Now, there will be a lot of people in our local media market who will say that LSU got outbid. LSU this, LSU that. LSU should have listened, and to everybody and every LSU person and every LSU person on the staff. I don't mean this in a wrong way. I told you so. Maybe next time you'll listen. But Jimbo Fisher and A&M made a deal and put a deal in place today that, quite honestly, LSU could not get to and match. And they did try to do everything that they could today to get there. And I think that they were getting there, but there was impatience. And for whatever it's worth, Jacoby Matthews then goes to A&M. Whatever you want to say about that situation, the truth is the truth. And I know a lot of people will hate on me and say, well, Blake, he's a kid. Blake this, Blake that. Blake, you shouldn't be talking about this. Well, guys, quite honestly, if you're going to pass, if Congress is going to pass name, image, and likeness, and this is going to be the new age of college football, newsflash, there's no holding bars anymore. It would be one thing if NIL was not in place, and I came out here and I said that under the table, Jacoby Matthews or any recruit got X, Y, or Z. Wouldn't be good. Actually, would be against NCAA rules. But if you think for a second that NIL is not present in today's game, you're crazy. However, a lot of people, what they'll hear in that is that LSU is behind in name, image, and likeness in NIL. But let me flip on this, because LSU got a top 5 prospect today at linebacker with Harold Perkins. Now, Harold Perkins, guys, put 2 and 2 together of why he's here. LSU is not behind. Now, I know that your cousin who knows a guy who has lunch with an LSU staff member every day that gives you all of your LSU news and sourcing. When they told you Jacoby Matthews was coming, they should have picked up this phone and started to dial. They should have. Because now that we as AYS are getting into it, it didn't take us that too long to find out, especially in the parish that I grew up in and live in, that it was a dogfight for LSU. So I just want that all to be known. LSU got in the dogfight with Jacoby Matthews, and they missed. Point blank. It is what it is. You can take it for what it's worth, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. However, A&M lost a kid from their state and five-star linebacker Harold Perkins. LSU made it up. LSU made it up. And before you say it's a switch swap, it's a flip, and this team got a better player, this team got a better player, guys. Anytime you get a top 5 player in the country, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Harold Perkins is a stud. He's not the biggest of linebackers, but he can fly. He can tackle well. He can cover well. Quite honestly, if you wanted him to play running back in the SEC, he could do that too. He's that special. You got a premier potential NFL prospect, a first-round bona fide prospect in Harold Perkins. Before we get to the comments, let me say this too. Brian Kelly and all of the national recruiting pundits who said he would do crappy in recruiting, guys, they're number 6. They started in the 40s. I don't want to hear your bullshit anymore. And we talked about if LSU finishes in the top 10, something that we talked about religiously. If they finish in the top 10, I was going to lose my mind. Newsflash, LSU's not done yet. They're going to continue to get more prospects. They're going to continue to climb up recruiting rankings because they're going to hit the transfer portal. It's a damn good class. The staff did a damn good job in the portal and getting Harold Perkins, keeping the bona fide Louisiana recruits in here. You lost to some in a transition year. So what? I hate it. You hate it. Everybody hates it. So what? Now you make up for it, and you get working for the 2023 class. LaTerrence Wells, Jordan Allen, Walker Howard, Will Campbell, Emory Jones, all Miles Frazier, Tremont Shorts, Greg Brooks, Joe Fouché. You had a very, very good day and a very, very good recruiting class, and you're not done yet. You're not done. Okay. Probably got a lot to talk about. But when we say something again and we come out with, I don't think that this is happening, please take it for what we're saying it as. Jason says players did not leave Louisiana today. They were paid not to stay. Yeah. Guys, yes. Not Danny Lewis. That's a Bama thing. Pooh Bear says, hashtag Ask Blake, outside of Danny Lewis, LSU basically recruited and got players to fill those positions where they needed. I agree with that. Dwayne Official says college football is a business. Players don't care about staying home anymore. Guys, guys, it's always been a business. College football has always been a business. And now with name, image, and likeness, and it being at the forefront, and the lies that people say that NIL, LSU's down, LSU's out and down, and with NIL, they don't know what they're doing. They don't have this ready to go. They don't have that ready to go. Well, I'm sorry for everybody that believes that lie and that bullshit, because, guys, Harold Perkins, every transfer that LSU got an NIL deal and posted it on social media with Gordon McKernan. Hashtag get it done. Got her done. Hell, whatever his slogan is. Excuse me for not coming out here and fear-mongering and lying like I'm a piece of dog manure. Rick says, how about Coach Fisher referring to old NIL, huh? Well, Jimbo Fisher lied today. But two things can be true at the same time. Jimbo Fisher was right when Jimbo Fisher said that everybody praised it when Nick Saban did it. He's telling the truth. When Nick Saban, it's funny about what Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin are doing right now because they're getting their asses beat in recruiting. Nick Saban was the one that went inside the state of Texas and told every high school coach that was listening to him at a coaches convention that, my quarterback just got $800,000 NIL deal. By the way, I haven't seen that publicly posted. I haven't seen Bryce Young publicly post anything in NIL. Not saying he doesn't have it. Just saying what Nick Saban said has not come to pass. And now that A&M is doing what they're doing, he's freaking out. It's hypocritical. What's also hypocritical is Jimbo Fisher running out there saying that we're not paying kids to come here. You're lying. Not only are you lying, then what were you doing in Hammond a couple of weeks ago? What were you doing at other places a couple of weeks ago? If it's a business, we need to talk about it. Long are the days. The day is over with, and people are going to rip me a new one on this. The days are over of things like this being covered up. If you want name, image, and likeness, and you want it on the forefront, it's going to be talked about. It's going to be talked about. Jason says it's against rules to lure a kid to a university. Well, not necessarily in the state of Texas. They already changed their rules. But it is a part of the NCAA. What's crazy about that is that it is a part of the NCAA's rules not to do that. But it's happening. It's 1,000% happening. But are they investigating Texas A&M, or are they going to investigate Texas A&M? Is that why Jimbo Fisher ran out there and said that we're not doing anything with NIL? D-Will0917, since it's $9.99 via Super Chat, he says, we appreciate you, bro. Keep giving us that heat. See y'all on Twitter Spaces. We need to get this fan NIL group started. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be over nobody's money. I'm not going to do it. I'll contribute. You know what we can do? We could do like an AYS pool if you want to put money in a pool to get players and pay, give them AYS sponsored deals through our LLC for them to come on the show. We'll do that. And I'll talk to the recruits about it. I'll talk to the current players on the team about it. I'll talk to LSU compliance about it. We'll do it. Penn Johnson's is $4.99 via Super Chat. He says, hashtag ask Blake, when and if you think the NCAA is going to step into and put limits on NIL and address some of the coaches using them to skate dead periods. Well, I think they're going to have to get Congress involved on this because Congress was the one that allowed it to happen. Until then, I don't know what the NCAA from a regulation standpoint is going to be able to do. Do I think that there needs to be regulations on the transfer portal? Yes. Do I think that there should? I don't know, though, how you can regulate a free and open market, because our society and our country and what our principles are basically is a open society, a free society, a capitalist society. So with that being said alone, I don't know how they regulate that. Maybe, and this is where it probably will and needs to go. College football needs to have a union, and you laugh about that. But the only way to regulate it is to have a union, because then everyone's on the same playing field. Just got sent this. I guess whoever the person that sent it to me sent me this. Who's watching the show? I'll just read a part of the NCAA rules and regulations. It says college students competing in states without an NIL law will have the freedom to receive compensation for their NIL however they see fit, as long as they do not violate pay for play or receive financial incentives to sign with or remain at a program. Well, the way that I read that, though, is it says college athletes competing in states without an NIL law. Louisiana and Louisiana and Texas do have it, but I would suppose that the state law overrules an NCAA rule, that's pretty much what it's saying there, right? So what are your state laws? Guys, there's no real – they're not going to do any – the state's not going to do anything to Gordon McKernan for paying kids to play at LSU. They're not. Free Jackson says on YouTube, Mike Leach does not do anything with NIL and finish in the top 25 class. Well, Mike Leach also doesn't have a Harold Perkins. He also doesn't have a Will Campbell, and he also doesn't have a Walker Howard or Emory Jones. Ryan says on YouTube, hashtag Ask Blake, does one top recruiting class make A&M not suck? Asking for a friend. Well, no. They're going to have to string multiple classes together not to suck, because there's kids in this recruiting class that are going to hit the portal. They're going to hit the portal. And they're going to spend that money for nothing. There's going to be probably, guys, 7 or 8 of those kids from this recruiting class that are going to hit the portal. And they might hit the portal at the end of next season. How they might hit the portal within 6 months. Who knows? Lift off Country Prep. Since Harold Perkins is a dog, Happy is on our side. I agree. I don't want to hear that LSU couldn't get the deal done with Matthews. Guys, that's not necessarily the case. The Matthewses at the end wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen. Paul Batt says you don't think NCAA is waiting for this NIL stuff to implode. They probably are. Ultra Raider on YouTube says Harold effing Perkins, y'all. Let's go. Richie Roche from Roche's Lawn and Landscape, 225-937-7220, 225-937-7220. Says, I don't think that there should be some sort of rules and regulations for NIL. Or he says, I do think that there should be some sort of rules and regulations. I don't know. I don't know how they can. Guys, I really don't. Ant Marshall says on YouTube, exactly, Blake, Jimbo trying to keep the heat off of them. Absolutely, and he wants to get the praise for the class himself. He wants to get the praise for his players, and he wants to get the praise for his staff. The simple fact that Jimbo Fisher is running out there saying that we didn't pay players to come here is a stone cold lie. The collective is what they're calling this. The NIL proceeds. Jimbo Fisher, no. Now, Jimbo Fisher is correct when he's saying we didn't raise $30 million. He's right about that. They probably didn't. The going rate of a recruit is not $30 million worthy. But he wants the credit for his staff. And hey, what you gonna say? And Marshall says, hashtag ask Blake, what positions does LSU look at in the portal after this spring? It's a good question. Look, I think that they look for a center. If you can find a traditional center in the portal, you go after a traditional center. Obviously, they're going to have to go after another tight end. With 5 spots remaining, maybe you can get 2 tight ends because you need more depth there. Maybe another safety if you got it. And then the ultimate thing, guys, I still think you look for a quarterback. And I think that it's the number 1 and number 2 thing is quarterback and tight end. And I'm not sure if you guys saw the Miles Brennan video today that he had with walk-ons. Now, I was doing way too much to I don't know if it's an NIL deal that Miles Brennan got with walk-ons. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm scrolling down to try to find it. And for whatever reason, I can't find it. Somebody's probably just gonna somebody send it to me if you have it. Because I sure as heck can't find the Miles Brennan dancing video. He was like thrusting his hips and all kinds of crazy stuff. I forget who posted it. But yeah, it's nuts. Oh, Jeremy Maddox sends us $4.99 via YouTube or via Super Chat on YouTube. He says to start from 45-ish to finish at number 6 is a testament to Coach Brian Kelly and his staff. LSU fans should be proud of this start. We ain't done yet. No, we're not done yet. No, we're not, and you should be proud of it. It's a hell of a good job of what they did. A hell of a good job. Nevertheless, if they get to a top 5 where they're at, you got to give Brian Kelly a lot of credit. Jacoby Matthews going to Texas A&M does not fluster me at all. Does not fluster me at all. All right, JB, my guy JB on Twitter, ducked off with JB is his Twitter handle. He just sent me the Miles Brennan dancing video. I would expect that this is an NIL deal, and he's hip thrusting and humping all over the place. If you haven't seen it, my God, all Miles Brennan is doing is humping in the air. So Miles Brennan got a walk-on deal, got an NIL deal. Oh, goodness gracious. We're doing good in NIL, I guess. We just got guys humping the air. Thank God he didn't break a hip, though. Lee says, hashtag ask Blake, didn't Brennan get some kind of deal last year with walk-ons? I don't remember, but I think he did. Tracy says, y'all saw it was a freaking hilarious. Someone in Twitter space posted it. Yep. No Rhythm Miles is what they were calling him. I just really pray that he doesn't break a hip. Like, seriously. Nick Weibel on Facebook says, Lewis going to Bama pissed me off a hell of a lot more than Matthews going to Texas A&M. Well, it didn't really piss me off. But guys, you're not going to get them all. This isn't Pokemon. You're not going to catch them all. But it does sting from on the field standpoint. It does sting. You need depth there. You're going to have to go get probably 1 to 2 tight ends out of the portal. And you're going to have to be okay with that. And pray to God that they got more than 1 year of eligibility left. Ryan Williams, I saw you put something in here. Send it back. I can't find the comment. Rick says hashtag ask Blake. Hall and Oates wants to know if A&M is enemy number one now. No, don't you agree? It's still Alabama. Hell yeah, it's Alabama. Alabama will always be the number one until Nick Saban's gone and passed away. Alabama will be the number one rival to LSU in football. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. There's not even a comp to that. King Ulysses on YouTube says, "Where my police ball?" Well, Pooh Bear says, if he gonna get married, Miles never approve those hip thrusts. Cold Case says Benny the Bagman from Spaces. Yeah. What y'all know about Benny the Bagman? I told y'all, but guys, we've been in those Twitter spaces saying that Jacoby Matthews wasn't coming to LSU. People just, you know what's funny is when we go in those spaces and I say, hey guys, Jacoby Matthews is not training to LSU right now. It's not a lot. We get people that come in there and request and say, but blank, oh my God. But so-and-so from www.idon'tknow.com says he put a crystal ball in for Jacoby Matthews to LSU. Patton McNeese on Facebook says, hashtag ask Blake, what do you take from that picture that Matthews mom was the only one that looked happy in that video? Nothing. Louis Sanjovic says start of an era marked by this class. Absolutely. Tim Graves, congratulations to my friend on becoming a dad. But he says Jimbo a Rudy Poo. Jimbo is a Rudy Poo, y'all. He is a Rudy Poo. But look, I'm not worried, and this is what I've been saying all day, is it feels as if that people are upset for not getting Lewis and not getting Matthews, and I understand it. Like, I legitimately understand it. But nevertheless, guys, you got a number 6 class in the country. You're okay. Guys, we are more than okay in a transition year. Quite honestly, I didn't think LSU, if I'm being just a humble opinion here, I didn't think LSU could get into the top 15, much less get into the top 6. If you want me to be realistic. Ryan Williams, our attorney at law, who is going to be reading over our NIL contracts at AYS, says, hashtag ask Blake, do you have any information on why Danny Lewis chose Alabama? Yeah, it really, and it's 2 words. Actually, it's 4 words. It's called Pete Golding and Sam Petito. Those are the 4 words. Those are just the words. They put the full court press on Danny Lewis while LSU was trying to reel in Jacoby Matthews and Harold Perkins. Some of them, aka Danny Lewis, slipped by the wayside. I think here's what I also know. It's not believing at this point. I think that, and I know that there were people inside of LSU's recruiting building that was doing absolutely everything that they could to get Danny Lewis. Everything that they could. Guys, sometimes, it's funny. We get mad at the school and we get mad at the coaches for not getting the player to come here when sometimes there's absolutely nothing that you can do. Nothing you can do. But Pete Golding. Let's see. Juana Montana on YouTube sends us $10 via Super Chat, but says, spin. In this portal era with 5 Scully still available, is LSU better positioned to flexibly navigate the spring talent movement than other schools? when teams see on the field what they really have. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Spot on, Wanamatana. Wanamatana. KJ says, check out Perkins' offensive highlights. He's a beast on the offense. Yeah, he can play running back too. Chad Selfo says, Blake, what site are you seeing that LSU is top 6, 247, and Shea Dixon of 247 actually also posted. Shea also posted it as well. He also posted it as well. So that's where I'm going off of it. Very quickly, guys, just mentioned Ryan Williams, guys at the Drake Williams Law Firm. If the insurance company is giving you the runaround, call the Drake Williams Law Firm today, 985-386-7600, 985-386-7600. Let them do a free consultation for you. DWI, family court successions, titles, real estate. They do it all. Again, Drake Williams Law Firm, Drake Williams Law Firm. .com. My good friend John Patton over at GMFS Mortgage. GMFS Mortgage, they're changing lives. Guys, I posted on my social media account, my personal social media account, about me and my wife, Megan, going through this exact process, doing the addition, getting the new studio ready to go. The place and the person that I trust the most to take care of my mortgage, my refinance, and everything that I'm doing is John Patton over at GMFS. If you're buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage that you have now, or even doing a cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with John Patton today. Again, 225-614-1234. Tell him Blake sent you on by. Okay. I forgot my water, so I'm out. Let me tell you, y'all want to know what I go through on a y'all want to know what I go through in a pregame show? This. I go through 4 bottles of water. At least it's not Coca-Colas. I need to get a trash can. We got to lose that weight, big dog. We got to lose that weight. Got to get back to boom. Y'all saw that bicep? Boom. Art says on Facebook, 100% did we get Perkins? 100% yes. Sign on the dotted line. Ryan says number 6 in combined rankings with high school and transfers. That is correct. Daniel Gabriel says A&M will have turmoil in the locker room. There will be a lot of jealous upperclassmen watching freshmen show up at practice in Bentleys. I think that's an interesting thought. I don't know of a lot of Texas A&M current players that are getting NIL deals. I don't know of any. Ticoon Cortez says LSU is up to 13 in rivals. We're talking about the complete composite. What rivals does not have is the transfer portal. We're talking when you sign 12 or you get 12 guys from the transfer portal in your class, you can't go based off of merely alone the high school rankings. You have to go based off the transfer portal. Guys, LSU has 26 players, new players on this roster. 26. You're not 12th or 14th in the nation. Not with what you got. Robert Law says, #ask Blake, how much do you think the long wait to get coordinators on campus hurt this class? Maybe could have hurt Jacoby Matthews. Maybe. But when you have your guy, when you have your coordinator, you got to wait on him. There's not a you can't worry about what Jacoby Matthews does because you want to and hire a bad coordinator. You can't do that. Unvaccinated.com says on YouTube, call Drake. Do not let the insurance company cheat you out of your money. Yeah. Very true. Bundy says, what about Kelly Bush? Is he a walk-on or what? Yes, he is a walk-on. D-line depth. Yep. This old vet on YouTube, since it's 10.99 via Super Chat, thank you very much, says this is Little Ben's college fund. I will put that money in his college fund. Can I tell y'all something? That little sucker, I swear to God, I'll bring it on the show one day. Remind me Friday or Saturday to bring you his piggy bank. The dude legitimately might have $600, $700. Guys, he's 2. To the people who will try to break in my house and be a thief, it's actually in our bank. So it's not here. Ha ha. Joke's on you. Safety deposit box. Ha ha. Speak of the devil. I talk about money and he comes running. Come here. Come here. Come on. We're about to end the show in a minute anyway, so. All right. Adam on YouTube says Blake Eagles the best for LSU sports, no question. Thank you. Hey, did you hear about money and you came running in here? You got to answer the question. Did you hear? I got your binky. I got your binky. Oh, you got another one in your hand. You can put the other one in your mouth. All right, give me a kiss. Go find mama. Go. Now, I got your booty. All right. You don't have my booty? I got your here, very quickly. I got your nose. Ha ha. I got your nose. Ha ha. Mose. All right, go find mama. Go. All right. P.S. Lee says AYS is a family show. We try, but he's got to get better with not coming in here. My wife will go put the my wife will go put the food up for dinner, and oh my God, he will come in here and he'll sneak away. Jerry, I greatly appreciate that. Reed says, sorry, Blake. High school rankings is that because transfer money only have 1 year left. Yeah. But I still think that they got some really good guys. Stacy says, hashtag ask Blake. Some LSU fans will whine, complain, and panic about anything. BK era has not been a disappointment, and this is the beginning. Some need to relax. Yeah, and it can't continue, but you have to give him credit where credit's due. Scott McClendon says, Blake, did you see where Caleb Douglas changed his name to Payday today on Twitter? I didn't see that. Nope, I did not see that. I sure didn't. Mark says Harbaugh returning to Michigan, even in Minnesota, doesn't hire him. Well, Minnesota is not known for really hiring very elite people. Fred says, do you go around the SEC? We can go around the SEC. Or do we want to? We can go around the SEC. Let me say this. I want to be careful here. I do think going around the SEC and finding out some things today about college coaches in college football. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a massive exodus and change in college football with coaches. Meaning maybe they go to the NFL, maybe they go somewhere else. But talking to a lot of coaches today, I talked to multiple ones at Arkansas, LSU, talked to one at A&M, and talked to one at Florida. All of them said the same thing. They are – what's the word I'm looking for? They are getting a little tired of the transfer portal and NIL stuff. Go let mama put your shoes on, buddy. Go let mama put your shoes on, okay? Ryan Thibodeau brings up a good one. Says Tamu hired DJ Durkin from Ole Miss. Yeah, I saw that. Nick Rizzuto says, Randy says, what's up, Ben? Hey, man. Keep your daughter. Say, bro. I mean, look. Ben's coming. He's a stud. He's a stud of an athlete. Neil says, hashtag ask Blake, what's up with LSU basketball? You know, with everything that's going on today and National Signing Day, we did not talk about. Here's an epic rant for you. Everybody hit the like and share. We got to talk about this rant. We'll end with Will Wade. Let's do that. Hit the like and share because we had so much to talk about in recruiting today. We didn't get into LSU basketball. I want to say this. I know when I come out here and I say Will Wade needs to be criticized where he needs to be criticized, a lot of LSU fans don't like that. They want to hear that Will Wade's an American gangster. He's a great recruiter. He's a great basketball coach. Guys, I do think he's a great recruiter. I do think that he's a great recruiter. I got to read this very quickly. Leah Van asked, let's hold on. We got some kind of breaking news here. Hold on. I say it's breaking news, but you guys need to hear this. Leah Van, I don't know what she's affiliated of. She said that I asked Jacoby Matthews and his father if any NIL deals were involved in this commitment to Texas A&M. Both said no. They said none of the three remaining schools made those kinds of offers. That's a lie. It's a stone cold lie. Stone cold lie. Let's get back to Will Wade. And going back into Will Wade, guys, you still have an NBA an FBI investigation going. The NCAA is still investigating him, and they're losing on the court. They've had some good seasons. They got to the Sweet 16 last year. He's a good coach. At the end of the day, I still think that he's done some good things for LSU basketball. But right now, they're sputtering. He doesn't know what to do offensively. He doesn't know what to call offensively. He doesn't know how to get his team better offensively. I get that Xavier Pinson's out. I know that Adam Miller's out. But right now, he has to face the criticism and stand in the fire of being criticized when his team is losing to Ole Miss, who is one of the worst SEC teams. He doesn't make good adjustments. He goes out in the press conference and knows what the team's going to do, and he does nothing about it. I don't want to hear about injuries anymore. Ole Miss had both of their starting guards out for the game, and you lost. You lost. There's no more excuses. You have a 5-star center in Efton Reed. You have a senior in Darius Days. Eric Gaines has played a lot of minutes. The problem is, and look, you got a top lottery pick on your team in Tari Eason, and those are the guys that should be taking over your team. They're not. I like Will Wade as a human being. I still think he's a good coach. He's a horrible play caller at times. And it's either one extreme or the other. Either they're really good offensively, like they've been the last couple seasons, or they suck on defense. They cannot make those adjustments. Clyde says, I live here in Virginia. That was Will Wade coaching. Watch him at VCU. Well, there you go. Neil says, hashtag Ask Blake, you're exactly right. Should he be on the hot seat, though? I do not believe he should be on the hot seat. No, I do not. I think he's winning too much. And he doesn't deserve to be fired. But he deserves the criticism. Now, the leash, give me that, Ben. Let me show them this. Ben, show me this. Where did you get this? The leash is long, but that thing will continue to get shorter and shorter. Where did you find this? I mean, is this like I don't even know what this is. That boy. Paul Batt says Leah's a new LSU beat writer for The Advocate. Took over Avocado Boy Brooks. Oh, God. It's so funny. Nick sends us some stars via Super Chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick. But yeah. But yeah. Gage says, not saying I strongly agree with all the criticism, but it has to but it has an impact, Louisiana. Um what criticism do you not agree with what I just said? Do you not agree with that he needs to make better adjustments? Do you agree that he should that the excuses of the injuries should not be the main thing when Ole Miss is losing two of their guards to start the game and you're getting blown out? Now they came back and they made the game close, but for majority of that game they got blown out. There's defensively they've done well, but the last couple of games they've really struggled, guys. They've really struggled. So, all right, guys, we will see y'all again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Come on, hiya. So, where did you find the pizza? And how are you eating the pizza with your binky in your mouth? All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Tell them bye-bye. No, you got to go up here. Say bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah. Yeah. Pizza. Later, dudes.